All right. I hope everybody can hear me because I got just a few different things I want to talk about uh, dealing with this Charlie Kirk um, dynamic. I would call it a dynamic. I myself am not a Republican or a Democrat. I'm a Moorish American, um, and so when it comes to politics, you know, Moorish Americans tend to vote by issue more than by party. Um, as for myself, personally speaking, as a member of the Moorish Central America, but as a personal perspective, I definitely can see a perspective from both sides. I can see a perspective from both uh, sentiment that each side has. The problem though is the game is rigged. It's a complete scam. Um, to say that you have a right to bear arms or you want to embrace the right to bear arms doesn't mean that you're a Republican or a conservative. Um, just because you say that you are a man that was born a man and you like women, or you were once a woman and now you stand as a woman, or you claim to be a man, or whatever the case may be, whatever gender or ideology, that doesn't mean that you're a liberal. So there is an ongoing agenda in regards to the need to conflate, um, to dramatize, or to um, foster a environment that is rooted in racism, I guess you could call it. Um, I think that there is a agenda to continuously perpetuate distractions amongst people. I wouldn't consider this a distraction per se. Um, I think that it's a tragedy, honestly. We have a situation where me being a father and a grandfather at 31 years old in a blended family, there were children that lost their father today, a wife that lost her husband today, um, probably some parents that lost their son today, maybe even some siblings that lost their brother today, and so on and so forth. Maybe even grandparents that lost their grandson today. Um, and, you know, Mr. Kirk or Charlie Kirk, um, had a lot of different controversial statements and behaviors and ideologies, that a lot of people just had no wiggle room to embrace it at all. Very much diametrically opposed to his views. Do I personally think that he deserves to die for those views? No, because in my opinion, we go down that road, then everybody's up for game. Everybody's up for the opportunity for their beliefs or their views to be subject to their murder and assassination. And I don't think that that is uh, what America is about. I will say, though, that as a Moorish American, I stand for love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Now, when these principles are violated, justice must then take its course according to Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Do I think that justice was served for this man that lost his life? I can't say. I'm not Allah. I will say that, we are not to speak radical and agitating against, members of any organized group, or speak radical against the American flag or the church as members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. So when it comes to agitating speeches, this individual definitely had a lot of agitating speeches, but he's not the only one that has agitating speeches. Um, it just so happens that there was a vacuum and he got caught in the crossfires, literally, point intended. And unfortunately, we had a turning point, pun intended or not intended, because we have to do some examinations about the conditions that we're living in, not just politically, socially, economically, financially, um, even politically, you could say, because there's a there's a statement that Prophet Noble Drew Ali makes, and he says a lot of our problems are social and economic. He said in a more profound sense, they're moral and spiritual. And see, that moral and spiritual component is really what we ought to examine if that is our desire, because not everybody has high moral ground and not everybody aspires to stand firm on that moral apparatus, if you will. But I think that, you know, as a Moorish American, it's important to learn to love instead of hate. Now, does that mean that you turn the other cheek, or does that mean that you have a naive perspective about someone having diametric views towards you, whether it be the color of your skin or your religion or whatever the case may be? No, you must strive to preserve your life, and therefore, uh, making certain statements, you want to make sure that you are aware of the potential backlash. Um, so, I definitely see that this is an opportunity for the American people to look at the situation with Charlie Kirk and say, what if that was me? Because everyone today, tomorrow, the day after, months later, years later, will continuously have something to say about someone that they don't like in regards to their views or their perspective. It will perpetuate itself. So now, if you express those views that you don't like Donald Trump, or you don't like Charlie Kirk, or you don't like someone in this world, and you voice it and you give your explanation as why you don't like this person or why you might hate this person, and then you're subject to being murdered, and it's plastered all over social media, and then your children see it, your wife or spouse or significant other sees it, your mother sees it, your father sees it, your siblings see it, your cousins see it, your aunts, your great aunts and uncles, etc., your friends see you being murdered for the whole world to see. Children, sixth grade, fifth grade, fourth grade, seeing you live with your lifeless body on the ground. I think that's a little diabolical. I think that that's something that shouldn't be glorified. I think it's very wicked to think that him being murdered is a good thing. To say that, is it justified? Did he have it coming? Is it karma? Perhaps. I'm not the one to speculate on that. But I can say that to have the spirit in yourself to say that you enjoyed seeing that life escape out of that physical body, you're a devil. You are a devil incarnate. To glorify a murder of a human being is a little diabolical. Now, we understand the art of war. We understand tactics. We understand, karma. But just think, to fix your mind and heart to say, I really enjoyed watching that. I mean, that's something worth examining for reals. And understand that point some you, you point at somebody, you got three fingers pointing right back at you. So Swift, I appreciate your comment, and Monkey, I appreciate your comment as well. Yeah, I think that we ought to just take this moment and literally examine this word turning point and aspire to see if we can make it for the opposite of the manifestation that we saw today. Just a thought, just something to think about, reflect upon. And if you don't think that's worth your time, then hey, by all means, do what you do. But I myself, personally, I had to share something on my heart today about this particular situation. Um, I found out at work. I apparently in my new training, I can't say where I work now, but it involves its involvement in the energy sector. And ironically, the city in which this young man was unlived was in the city in which our customers are. I don't think that there's any correlation to our customers and the individual who unlived this individual, but I found it very, very interesting. I didn't even have an idea of him being in Utah. I didn't think it was in Utah. I would have never thought it was in Utah. Um, but that just so happens to be the case. Um, yeah, and I don't even want to speculate on who it was and what they were part of and what organization or association they were with, but it is a turning point, literally. Point intended is a turning point for USA. However that looks, it's up to us. Look at this comment from Swift. We just need to continue to have the court do the right thing regardless of the outcome because good will always beat evil and we have to do our part. I respect you. Keep it up, brother. You got my sub. Oh, right on. Yeah. You know, my biggest thing with your comment, Swift, is turning point USA. It it is the name of the organization he's either the founder of or associated with, but now it's a, I think the word is post-humanist expression because it's not necessarily about him only or Trump or anything like that, but it is associated with him and Trump and the expression turning point USA. Because we've always been at a turning point in some way, shape, or form, in some capacity. But this particular day, September 10th, forgive me, Wednesday, September 10th, 2025, we've reached a turning point. And of course, tomorrow, September 11th, 24 years ago, you know, uh, Twin Towers and the Pentagon were attacked by individuals who were paid by other individuals who may or may not have been associated with the United States government. We don't know that for sure. But we're at a turning point. You know, yeah, I'm not super celebratory about a death of another human being. I'm just not. I'm not in that type of spirit because again, I know being from Portland, Oregon specifically, having ran for mayor for the city of Portland, ran for school board as well. Um, Knowing that some things that I said myself, I wasn't assassinated. Perhaps maybe my character was, but anyone is open to scrutiny in the public if you are a public figure in any capacity. So you have to be mindful of that, you know, security, martial arts training, um, bulletproof vest, even um, head on a swivel, be your own security as well as the security you may have, account for that. Um, yeah, it yeah, it's pretty tragic. to say the least. I'm not a Charlie Kirk fan or a Donald Trump fan. Um, I just know that this is a turning point, and it is not something to be celebrated. It's something to be more laser sharp focused in how we interact with one another, how we engage with one another. Because if we have the capacity to agree to disagree with individuals and have a intellectual conversation, very much like Vivek Ramaswamy had kind of spoke on the value of that, uh, I think we'd be in a better situation. I think that as everyday citizens, we have to recognize that we are being played, and this side versus that side, the blue versus the red, the Democrats and the Republicans, the game is rigged. The game is rigged. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King said, I believe, paraphrasing, I believe that I brought my people into a burning house. And then you have, if I can find it, do I have it near me? Oh, it's in my room. There's a book by Elijah Muhammad called The Fall of America. Prophet Obadiah Ali said that, the worst is yet to come. If love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice is not practiced universally to all nations and all lands. Let me go into the comments. It says, if this was all part of a deeper plan, because we all know the elite are ruthless, this could have been a way to show people not to be courageous and have a voice, which is sad, just like the train thing. The train thing. Give me some more context on the train thing. But the other information in regards to the elites and the ruthlessness and the um, shutting people, that's instantly what I thought, honestly. I just thought of like the 1960s and how a lot of people were assassinated for standing up for things that they believed in. I will always do the right thing because I answer to God and only God, and He will protect and provide for me. That part, that part. They are two wings of the same bird. That part. The stabbing on the train, that girl. Uh, I'm not familiar. Did that happen this year or this month? Did the stabbing um take place in this year or this month? And was it in what state was it in? Wow. Okay. Okay. Yesterday. What state? Swift. What state was it in? And who um I would rather not, but I probably will just to give you some perspective on my thoughts about it. Um yes. What state though? And did she have any type of political views of some sort? Do you know that, Swift? With phones in their hands, I'm sure. Do you know who the attacker of a woman? They readjusted your comment or something. I don't know what that's about. Said this message is held for review. View message. Oh, I'm not sure what state, but from what I've seen, she was a refugee that came here for a better life and was stabbed out of nowhere. Do you know what country she was from? Do you know what country she was from, Swift? Wow. And if you can get to me like what nation, what her nationality was, that'd be great. But what you are expressing, wow, wow, that's something, because when it comes to this dynamic of American or not American or Russians, Ukrainians. That is wild, because in this society, most people that are in situations like that, example, even like Charlie Kirk, typically, from my experience, from what I've seen, not from the research or data or anything, it's been people that look like me, bad things happening to them, you know, um, political reasons, whatnot. But this is crazy. Yeah, yeah, I think that, again, it's a turning point. And I think that might be the name of this video with a little bit of hashtags or something, just to kind of get this perspective out. Refers to the tragic and senseless killing of 23-year-old North Carolina. Wow, horrible. Yeah, that's the name. That's the title for this. You know, and rest in peace to Charlie Kirk. Again, I don't completely agree with him, but name people that you can tell me you agree with them completely. I just think that we have this very ignorant and immature perspective about our views. If somebody disagrees with you, that doesn't mean that you're an idiot. That doesn't mean that you're wrong either. It doesn't mean that you're a bad person. It just means that someone has a view that is not yours. There's nothing wrong with that. And it's something that should be expected, and it should be something that should be fostered, that's a standard. We're not going to completely agree. In Al Islam, in the faith of Islam, as a Moorish American, there's 99 names for Allah. And these 99 names are not other gods, they're attributes. And for the sake of this conversation, perspectives of Allah. And we know that there's only one. And Allah in English means the great God. Won't get into the semantics of God and Allah, but there is a significant difference between Allah and God. But if you want to be connotative about it, Allah and God are completely the same. But denotatively speaking, just get into a lit major degree or whatever. Uh, God is German word that means to invoke. It's an action, not a noun. But God, the Almighty God, the Alpha, the Omega, the beginning and the end, he, she, or they is and always will be the one creator. And that one creator is known by many different names. So, yeah, definitely want to extend peace and tranquility to the Kirk family. It definitely is a tragedy in their mind. They're not thinking about Republican and Democrat. They're thinking about, oh, my husband's dead, my dad is dead. Like I just think that the humanity of the situation, with his views that people may not like, was completely eradicated, and that's all over the internet. And I'm just a voice that I can't say I'm better than anyone. I'm just saying I'm a Moorish American that's giving my perspective about what happened to the American society today and what has been happening since the beginning of the United States government in 1776. There's a lot of things that should be changed, should be improved, and for somebody to speak up and say about things that they don't like that they think need to change, I think that you have to have some sort of appreciation for somebody speaking up and speaking on something rather than standing back and being quiet and allowing things to happen against the perception that you view things should be. Everyone nowadays is distracted and very reactive, which makes it hard for us to be a community. I'm 25 years old, brother. I even see this is the devil's work. It's all worldly. Man, absolutely. And I'm 31, and since you did subscribe, my friend, I definitely want you to stay in contact with me. And I want to, well, I'm gonna just tell you because you'll be able to have access to it. My number, if you got a phone, piece of paper, my phone number, direct phone number is 509 406 4853. 509 406 4853. All right, Swift and Monkey and the YouTube world, peace and love.